Salmon are an important natural resource to the Pacific Northwest. While primarily considered an important food source to animals including bear, orca, otters, eagles, and osprey, it's humans who prey upon salmon more than any other predator. After the annual spawning feeding frenzy, carcasses in and around the area are scavenged by raccoons, birds, and insects. Even deer have been seen licking the remains for a seasonal salty treat. The importance of salmon extends to their environment, acting as vectors by which important nutrients from the ocean are directly delivered to the riparian. Healthy streams are critical for all stages of salmon growth and development, especially in the initial stages of life. Pacific salmon require cold water, which holds more dissolved oxygen than warmer water. Well oxygenated water is critical for salmon egg development, incubation, and growth. Shade from the canopy helps keep the water cool, while vegetation along the banks provides additional shade as well as hiding places for salmon. The stream itself benefits from a steady source of organic matter from above. Woody debris, also a source of organic matter, increases stream biodiversity but is frequently removed by humans for aesthetic reasons. Debris helps form small pools in which stream organisms can rest and hide. Branches less than 10 centimeters in diameter and 1.5 meters in length appear to be particularly effective at slowing or stopping stream bank erosion. Gravel and sediment is important for redd or nest building and promoting stability as well as for aeration of developing eggs. Most rivers and streams follow curved paths. The bends and loops or meanders give them their name. The banks of meanders exhibit alternating erosion and deposit regions with accompanying faster and slower water flow rates. The resulting riffles and pools allow for a diversity of habitats for the organisms that occupy them. Additionally, they tend to be at least 1.5 times longer in linear distance than straight rivers and streams, which promote faster water flow and erosion. A few months after spawning season, smolt migrate north to the cold waters of the Pacific, where they feed for upwards of 7 years, experiencing a more than 90% increase in biomass. Before migrating back to spawn, salmon begin experiencing dramatic physical transformations, including color and pattern alterations, as well as additional species-specific changes. Males tend to display large and hooked jaws, and their dorsal regions can protrude upwards, while females swell with thousands of lipid-rich eggs, which can comprise more than 20% of her body mass. Pacific salmon, including Chinook, chum, coho, pink, and sockeye, are semiparous, spawning once before dying. Physiological changes in miles of swimming upstream necessitate large amounts of energy from fat and protein reserves. Since salmon stop eating prior to spawning, these stores must be large and readily available. Streams of all sizes and depths are navigated as they encounter branches and rocks, resting when they reach calmer water before continuing on. It's a literal race to survive, and the salmon who survive the trip often arrive at spawning locations appearing gaunt, bruised, and with torn fins. Competition for mates in redd locations as well as avoiding predators require all remaining energy. The fraction of adults who survive to spawn and the 1% or so of eggs that survive are critical parts of a delicately balanced life cycle and unique Pacific Northwest food web. The post-spawning aftermath is unique in its own way. Carcasses can be seen floating in the water or caught up on the banks, rocks, and branches. Initial stages of decay are accompanied by the unmistakable odor of decomposing fish, and their bodies frequently take on a yellowish color due to saprolignia fungal activity. While salmon provide essential nutrients to predators and scavengers by means of direct consumption, the surrounding flora, fauna, and microorganisms also benefit from key elements through the decomposition of carcasses. Salmon-derived nutrients, or SDNs, including carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, and dissolved organic matter, provide nutrients to microorganisms and plants. Spatial vectors of SDN dispersal, such as bears and birds, drag or carry off carcasses, occasionally even ending up in trees. Fragments can freeze, releasing valuable nutrients during the spring thaw in a kind of temporal dispersal. Urine and feces also aid in the dispersal and delayed release of SDNs. The beneficial effects of salmon-derived nutrients extend across distance as well as over time. Early timber moguls and farmers in western Washington all but ignored the requirements of native salmon, as they cut down trees, made roads through forests to reach more trees, and converted the resulting barren areas into fields for agricultural and livestock farming. Bridges were built over salmon streams using inadequately sized and poorly placed culverts, and meandering streams were often redirected for agricultural and road construction purposes. Dams were constructed to provide inexpensive and reliable power for the needs of an increasing population, and in doing so, severely diminished or completely blocked established salmon spawning routes, important to Native Americans whose connection with salmon dates back to time immemorial. Today, several alarming factors are contributing to reduced quality and quantities of Puget Sound salmon habitats. Forested area continues to decrease, and much of the remaining land is zoned for non-forestry purposes with no plans for replanting or restoration. The state has lost approximately half of its riparian forests, which degrades the shoreline and negatively affects water quality, temperature regulation, canopy cover, and reduces the organic matter important to river and stream health. Increased roads, driveways, and parking lots have been constructed to accommodate a rapidly increasing human population. These impervious surfaces prevent rain and storm water from seeping into natural filters such as swales before entering the water supply. Salmon are highly sensitive to the effects of pollutants including oil, gasoline, pet waste, and fertilizers, which flow straight into drains and empty into waterways. Water